Hello, my name is Mackenzie and this is Allison, and today we'll be doing an interval workout. So all you will need today is a chair. That's our only piece of equipment. If you want, you can also have a yoga mat or a towel for some ab work that we're going to do just to cushion. But other than that, you will just need a chair. So what we're going to do today is we're going to start with a little warm-up, then we have two main blocks of workout, and then we're going to end with a little ab finisher. So let's go ahead and get started. So I'm going to be taking us through the different options. Allison will be showing us some modifications for these movements if that need arises. So what we're going to do is we are going to start with a little Tabata warm-up. So that means we're going to be doing 20 seconds of work followed by 10 seconds of rest. And we have 4 rounds of high knees and butt kickers. So we're going to start in 3, 2, 1. So if you want to do high knees, you can follow me, or if you need a modification, you can follow Allison. She'll just be doing marching in place. 10 more seconds. 3, 2, 1, and rest. So now we're going to be moving on to butt kickers. Starting in 3, 2, 1. And again, if you want a modification, you can follow Allison. She'll just be marching and butt kicking at the same time. 10 seconds left. 3, 2, 1. Okay, that was round 1. 3 more to go. Starting in 3, 2, 1. High knees. And 10 seconds left. See if you can get them a little higher. And 3, 2, 1. Rest. I'm already breathing heavy. My heart rate's getting up. And we're going in 3, 2, 1. Butt kickers. And so here it's okay if your heels are not getting all the way up to your butt. What we're mostly just trying to do is raise our heart rate and get our muscles moving. 3, 2, 1, rest. Halfway. So once we finish this Tabata, we're going to go into some stretches, mobility, and then we'll get started with our workout. So high knees and go. 10 seconds left. See if you get the knees a little higher. 3, 2, 1. Good news. We only have one more set of high knees in this warm-up. Now we're moving on to butt kickers in 3, 2, 1. Halfway. 3, 2, 1, and rest. Whew. Last round in 5 seconds. And 3, 2, 1, high knees. If you want to give yourself a target, you can also use your hands out in front of you. Halfway. And 3, 2, 1. Only 20 more seconds. And we're going in 3, 2, 1. Butt kickers last time. Halfway. 5 more seconds. 3, 2, 1. And rest. So now what we're going to do is go, now that our heart rate's up, we're going to loosen up our body a little bit more with some stretching. So what we're going to do is we're going to do 4 on each side. of a knee hug. Then you're going to send that leg back into a runner's lunge, keeping the back leg straight. I'll turn around this way. So knee hug, runner's lunge, and then the arm that is on the same side as the knee, we're going to reach up towards the sky, get a little rotation, and back down. So that would be one. So we want to do 4 each side. And I'll do one on this side also facing the side. So again, knee hug, send it back into the runner's lunge, open up the hips. You can do little hip circles here. And then same side as the knee that's in front. You're going to reach up towards the ceiling and step up. So 3 more on each side. Go ahead and go at your own pace, or if you want to follow Allison and I, it's totally up to you. Again, we're just trying to get a little bit more mobility before we get into the bulk of our workout. And when you're doing the runner's lunge, we want to make sure that our knee is staying over the ankle. We never want it to come forward or be back. We want to keep it over the ankle. And sideways. Just one more. Last one. Now our next movement is going to be an inchworm. So you're going to stand tall, fold over the legs, walk your hands out into the plank position. If you want, you can add a push-up here. It's up to you. And then we're just going to walk our hands back and stand up at the top. So from the side, we're just going to do this 4 times. Bend over, walk the hands out, plank position. Walk them back in. Again, you can add a push-up at the bottom if you would like to, but it's not required. 2 more times. And last one. And actually, I lied, we're going to do one more, but we're going to stay in the plank position. Now this time, I'm going to come sideways so you can see. We're going to stay in the plank position. We're going to start to activate our shoulders and core a little bit more. So we're going to try to keep our body in line, and we're going to lift the opposite arm and the opposite leg. Trying to just awaken that core a little bit more, working on our stability. And for a modification, you can come down to your hands and knees. Just one arm up, and the other arm, another leg. Just like that. Let's just do about 4 each side at your own pace. Get 1 more on each side. Okay, now we're going to stay in this plank position. Or if you're on your knees, you're going to stay there. What we're going to do is shoulder taps again, stabilizing through the core. You're going to bring the opposite arm to the opposite shoulder and just tap. And you can speed it up, but what we don't want to see, we don't want to be coming to one side like this or the other. We want to try to stay firm in our plank with this little side-to-side movement. Let's do 1 more each side. Now walk the hands back up. I think we're ready to start the workout. So if you need to, grab some water right now. You won't need a chair. And if you want the mat, you can set it out. Because for this first workout, we're going to have 5 movements. And we're going to go through it 4 times. The first 2 times, we're going to do 45 seconds of work, followed by 15 seconds of rest, and then we're going to have a 30-second rest, and then go through it twice more with 30 seconds of work, followed by 15 seconds of rest. So I'll go through the movements while you're getting some water. Feel free. Also stretch anything else if you need to at this time. If you need to loosen up, do some arm swings. If you want to do some more stretches, feel free to do this while I go through the movements. So our first movement is going to be burpees. And here, this is probably the one time you will ever hear me say, it does not need to be pretty. So the main thing for burpees is you just have to get down on the ground and get back up again. So you can do that. You can step down, step up with a hop at the top, or you can hop back, hop up, any combination of, or if that's just a little bit too much for you, if the push-up just gets to be a little too much, you can also step back and step up, just making sure that we're standing tall at the top. Our next movement is going to be lunges, so you can do either forward lunges or backwards lunges. It is up to you. So back, maybe sending the knee back. We want to make sure that our chest is staying high in the lunge, that the knee is over the ankle, and then switching. So that would be backwards. If you wanted to go forwards, you'd just be stepping forward. And a modification for this is all about the depth. So maybe instead of going knee to the ground, you come about halfway, and then you switch. And go about halfway, and switch. And for any of these modifications, just look to Allison. She will be demonstrating them for you. Our next movement is more high knees. I know we did a ton of this during the warm-up, but it's just such a good way to get our heart rate up, get some cardio in. So again, you can either march like Allison was doing, or you can add a little hop to it. Then our next movement is push-ups. So we have a few different options here. And again here, I don't care if you want to do arms out wide and push-up, or if you want to bring the elbows in when you do your push-up. It's all up to you. So what you can do, you can either do the full body down, up, or you can go down from your feet, up on your knees, or you can go down on the knees and up on the knees. It is up to you. Just find a modification that you can do, that you can stick to and maintain for the entire time. And then our last movement in this set is just going to be a plank. So here you can either go from your forearms or from your hands. It's up to you. You can even drop down to your knees. We just want to see that the body is in a nice straight line, whatever modification you choose. So if we're ready, let me just pull up our timer. So we're going to go, the first 2 rounds are going to be 45 seconds of work followed by 15 seconds of rest, all the way through no rest once through the 2 rounds. And then after those 2 rounds, we'll take a 30-second rest, and then we'll start 30 seconds of work followed by 15 seconds of rest for another 2 rounds. So if you're ready, we'll get going in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, burpees. And again, this does not have to be pretty. It is just get on the ground, get back up again. We're 15 seconds in. If you're working out with a partner, feel free to give them some encouragement. These are not the most fun movement, but they are effective. 15 seconds left. See, for the last 10 seconds, can you pick up the pace? 3, 2, 1. Rest. We got 15 seconds. Catch your breath. And then we're going into lunges. Whew. Really got the heart rate up again. And 3, 2, 1. Lunges. And if you want to switch it up, do a few forwards and a few backwards. That's up to you. We're just really worried about that knee, making sure that it's going out, it's not falling in. Make sure it's out and it's over the ankle. .15 seconds left. 10 seconds. Can you maybe pick up the pace a little bit? 3, 2, 1. Nice. Now we're moving on to high knees. Catch your breath. If you need to ever during these breaks, go ahead and grab some water. We're going again in 3, 2, 1. High knees. Left. Over halfway. Keep going. Last 10 seconds. See if you can pick up the pace a little bit. 3, 2, 1. And rest. Next movement, we're going into those push-ups. And if you want to, you can have a mat down. It's really up to you. And in 3, 2, 1. The trick here is you're just trying to keep moving. Even if it's a slower pace, we want to make sure that we don't stop moving. Halfway. Ten seconds left. You got it. 3, 2, 1. 15 seconds and we go to our last movement, which is the plank. So again, we just want to see a nice straight line in our plank, whether you want to do it from forearms or the hands. And we're going in 3, 2, 1. We're just holding here. If you want to spice it up a little bit, you can go down to your elbows and back up again, rotating through. Or if you just want to hold, that is fine too. When we're going down to our elbows and back up again, we want to try to keep our body as straight as possible. We don't want to be going from side to side too much. 10 seconds left. And 3, 2, 1. Nice work. We have 15 seconds and we're starting at the top again. And so we're still on that 45 seconds of work and 15 seconds of rest. Starting with burpees in 3, 2, 1. After these, you don't have to do a strict push-up at the bottom. I just want to see that your chest is getting to the ground. If that means you're just falling over and getting back up, that's perfectly okay. That's all I care about, is that the chest is touching the ground and you're standing back up. 15 seconds left. 10. See if you can pick it up, get 2 more. And 3, 2, 1. Rest. That was our last time doing burpees for 45 seconds. Next movement is going to be lunges. In 3, 2, 1. And so another thing with the lunges, we want to make sure that we're stepping a little bit wider, just to help with balance. If you just step on a tightrope, it's a lot harder to balance, so you want to have a wider base. Make it a little bit easier on yourself. 15 seconds left. 10, Nice work. We're at the halfway point. We have high knees. Make sure you're breathing through all this when you're doing the high knees. Make sure that you are still breathing. And we're going in 3, 2, 1. Again, if you want to give yourself a target, you can put the hands out in front of you. Halfway. Last 10 seconds, see if you can pick it up a little bit. 3, 2, 1. Now we're moving on to our push-ups. In 3, 2, 1. Halfway. Make sure you're breathing. Do these push-ups. It can be really easy to try to hold your breath. But we've been doing a lot of cardio. Our body needs the oxygen. In 3, 2, 1. Rest. Now our last movement is the plank. Then we're gonna get a 30-second rest. And we're going into 30 seconds of work and 15 seconds of rest. So we're over halfway. And plank. Seconds left. Again, you always have the option to do some up downs. "15 seconds left. If you need to rest, try not to go back into downward dog. Just try to go to your knees. Last 5 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Nice work. We're gonna take a 30-second rest and we're going back into it. Grab some water if you need it. Shake out the arms, shake out the legs, stretch anything you need. We have 15 seconds. And we're going in 3, 2, 1, burpees. Already halfway. Try to maintain that pace that you started with. And 3, 2, 1. Good news is we only have to do burpees one more time. Next movement, we're going on to lunges. In 3, 2, 1. Over halfway. And 3, 2, 1. Rest. Next Next movement is going to be high knees. In 3, 2, 1. If you want and you have the space, you can travel a little bit with these high knees just to switch it up. We're halfway though. Last 5 seconds. Pick it up a little bit. 3, 2, 1. Rest. Next movement is our push-ups. And again, if you have to change your modification as we go, no worries. I just want you to keep moving as best you can throughout these. And push-ups. Halfway. And 3, 2, 1. Now our last movement, planks. We only have to do, after this we'll only have to do each movement one more time. And we're planking in 3, 2, 1. We want to make sure in these planks that we're keeping our shoulders away from the ears. We don't want to get hunched up. We want them nice and back. 10 seconds left. And in 3, 2, 1. 15 seconds and we're starting at the top for our last round of this section. Grab water if you need it. And burpees, go. A little trick with the burpees, the wider you jump your feet up, the less work you'll have to do because you'll have a shorter distance. So 10 seconds left. 3, 2, 1. Rest. We are done with burpees now. Doesn't that feel great? I'm excited. Next movement is going to be lunges. In 3, 2, 1. For this last round, if you feel like you can give it a little bit more, you also have the option to do jumping lunges. So you're going to be down here, push up, switch legs. Halfway. 3, 2, 1. Rest. High knees are next. And we're going in 3, 2, 1. Halfway. And 3, 2, 1. Rest. Now we're moving on to our push-ups. We're over halfway done with our last round now. And in 3, 2, 1. Again, if you have to change your modification as we're going, that is okay, as long as it enables you to keep moving. Over halfway. 2, 1. Rest. Now we just have our plank. And then after our plank, we're going to take a 2-minute break, grab water. You can pause the video if you need a longer break. And then we're going to move to our final block. And we're going. For this last 30 seconds, try to test yourself a little bit. If you're on your knees, try to maybe go to your feet for a little bit, even if it's just 3 seconds, and back down to your knees and back up. Or if you're already on your feet, maybe try some up downs. 3, 2, 1. Nice work. Grab some water. We're going to take a 2-minute break, and we're going to start our next movement. So what we have for our next round, we're going to go through 5 movements 3 times, and each movement will last 1 minute. So our first movement is going to be a side shuffle. So here we're going to be in a nice squat, trying to stay nice and low, and you're going to shuffle from one side to the other. Try to do about 5 to 6 feet of distance, just one side to the other for 30 seconds. For a modification, instead of coming down this low, maybe come up a little bit, and you can just step if you like. You don't have to add the hop, you can just step. Our next movement is going to be the air squat. So here the key is we're going to start feet shoulder width apart. We're going to keep our torso nice and strong. We shouldn't see any bending in this movement. It should be nice and strong. We're going to send the hips back, keep the torso high, trying to get our hip crease at or below parallel, and come back up. For a modification, you can do a quarter squat. So again, all the mechanics are the same, except we're only going down a quarter of the way and back up. Our next movement is plank jacks. So what those look like, you're going to be in the plank position, and you're going to be popping your feet in and out. For a modification, you can step one foot out, then the other. Then this is where we will need our chair. So if you want to just pull the chair out, make sure that it won't be in the way for the other movements. We're going to be doing some tricep dips. So here, you want your hands to be on the edge of the chair. Your feet are going to be out in front of you. And we're going to try to keep the torso nice and tall, just raising down and up. To make it a little bit harder, you're going to put your feet further out in front of you. To make it easier, you're going to bring them closer to you, so you can use your legs to help you. And our last movement is going to be a Superman. So we've worked a lot of the front of the core, now we want to work on the back. So in this movement, you're going to be on the ground, and then you're going to put your arms out in front of you, and you're going to raise off the ground and hold. If you want, you can add some pulses where you're going up and down. That's up to you. If you need to make this movement a little bit easier, bring your hands closer to your body. If you need to, you can rest, come back up, rest, come back up. But we want to try to hold that tension as long as we can. So those are our 5-minute movements. Once again, we're going through each one. Each one will be 1 minute long, and we'll go through the whole list 3 times. So we're going to start with our side shuffle. In 3, 2, 1. If you want to add a little bit more, you can touch down on each side. 20 seconds left. And when we're going to touch down, we don't want to be bending our back to get over. We want to be squatting down, keeping the back nice and strong. And 3 seconds left. 2, 1. Rest. Now we're going right into our air squat. Another point here, we want to make sure that we're sending the knees out. We don't ever want them falling in. That's not how knees are supposed to move. We want them to be going out. If you want, you can also use your chair as a marker for the depth. So you can squat down, touch. Just lightly touch. We're not sitting on the chair. We're just using it as a reference. 15 seconds left. And 3, 2, 1. We're going into those plank jacks. Again, popping the feet out and in, or for a modification, you're just stepping them. Halfway. This is where we need some mental toughness. I know it's hard, but you just gotta push through, keep moving as best you can. It's hard right now, but it'll be worth it afterwards. 15 seconds left. Three, 2, 1. Rest. Now we're going on to our dips. And I forgot to mention this earlier, but at the end of our first round, we will have a 30-second rest. After each round, we'll do a 30-second rest. So we're trying to get our arms to 90 degrees and back up again. Again, the further out your feet are, the harder it's going to be. "20 seconds left." And then we're going on to our Superman. And 3, 2, 1. Right into that Superman. Again, if you need to, you can pull the arms in or keep them out. If you want to add some pulses, you can. Halfway. "15 seconds left." Use this as a chance to get your breath back. We will have a 30-second break. And 3, 2, 1. Rest. 30-second break. Now you've been through it once. Use that to gauge your speed and intensity for the next 2 rounds. If you died a little bit that round, that's okay. Scale back so you can maintain a steady pace for the next 2 rounds. If you felt like you could have given it a little bit more, go for it. Give it a little bit more. And we're going again in 5 seconds, starting at the top with our side shuffle. In 3, 2, 1. Halfway. Seconds. Three, 2, 1. Right into those air squats. And try, if possible, to keep your weight evenly distributed on your 2 feet. We don't want to see squats like this, or maybe you go down and then you come over to a side. We want to try to keep it nice and even. Halfway. My legs are burning. Ten seconds left. And rest. Next movement, plank jacks. Again, just like in a normal plank, we want to keep our butt down. We want to try to stay as flat as possible while we're doing these. Halfway. If you need to, you can take a little break, step outside, or if that's too much, you can just hold the plank, but try to push yourself. 10 seconds left. And 3, 2, 1. Next movement, gonna be those dips. We only have 2 more minutes movements. Then we're gonna get a 30-second break. So try to get right into these as quickly as you can. Find a steady pace and a comfortable modification. We don't want to be way out here, but only doing 1 every 10 seconds. Try to find a pace and an intensity level where you can move steadily and evenly. We only have 20 seconds left. Seconds. 3, 2, 1. Last movement, Superman. Remember to breathe through this movement. Sometimes when we're holding movements under tension, holding a position under tension, we find ourselves holding our breath. But it's better for us to keep breathing. If you can just stick one arm out and then rotate. 15 seconds left. And in 3, 2, 1, rest. 30-second rest. And unfortunately, we're running a little bit behind on time, or maybe this is fortunate, but that was actually going to be our last round of that circuit because I want to make sure that we get into our ab finisher. So what that is going to look like for our ab finisher, it's going to be 7 movements, but it's only 15 seconds for each movement. We're going to go through them twice. Should only take us about 4 movements. And at the end of each round, we get a 15-second rest. So this, your abs will be constantly under tension, but we're switching up what kind of tension and what kind of work they're doing. So our first movement is going to be crunches. And if you want to get an ab mat out or a yoga mat for this or any kind of cushion, you can. So for crunches, you can put the feet down or bring them up to a 90 degree, or just pulsing up, not coming up all the way. Our second movement is going to be painful penguins. So you're down, building some tension in that core, and then we're rocking side to side, trying to tap those heels. Next movement is going to be leg raises. You can put your hands under your hips, legs straight, try to touch, and you're controlling them the entire time on the descent and the ascent. For modification, you can bend your knees and just tap the toes or tap the heels. Next movement going to be flutter kicks, so just out in front, up and down. Then we're just going to hold a side plank, so you can either do that from your elbow or from your hands. It's up to you. We just want to make sure that it's like our body is between 2 planes of glass. Side plank on the right side, then on the left, and then our last movement is going to be a regular plank, but we're going to add in some hip dips on each side. And those are all movements. I'll call them out before we start each one. What? I think we're ready to go. So we're starting with crunches in 3, 2, 1. So these, it's more like you're trying to pull your chest up rather than towards the legs. We're trying to pull it up. And we're switching to our painful penguins in 3, 2, 1. Next movement is going to be leg raises in 3, 2, 1. And flutter kicks in 3, 2, 1. For modification for these, if you feel like your back is coming off the ground, you can raise your legs a little bit higher. And side plank in 3, 2, 1. Yeah, we're trying to transition as quickly as we can since it's only 15 seconds of work. And we're switching sides in 3, 2, 1. Here, try to pull that hip up as high as you can. And plank with hip dips in 3, 2, 1. And we're gonna rest in 3, 2, 1. So that was one round. Hopefully you feel like you have the movements down a little bit, because we only have one more round. Try to push yourself, try to stay under tension the entire time. And we're starting with crunches in 3, 2, 1. Next movement is going to be painful penguins and switch. And leg raises in 3, 2, 1. Flutter kicks in 3, 2, 1. Side plank, 3, 2, 1. If you need to modify here, you can put your bottom knee down. And we're switching in 3, 2, 1. We only have one more movement after this. Push through. 3, 2, 1. Like with hip dips. This is your last 15 seconds of work. In 3, 2, 1. Nice work. We're all done for the day. Make sure you get a good stretch in after this. And thank you so much again. My name is Mackenzie. This is Allison, and thank you for joining us for this interval workout.